Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, the 9th of July of the year of the Lord 2022. This is the Leo Zagami show with Leo and Christy. Christy, we have the official voice here saying it. How is it?
And now, live from Palm Springs, California, your host, Leo Zagami.
Ooh, and Christy Zagami, because you can't have Leo Zagami without Christy Zagami. And of course, we are starting with our usual dance macabre. Ooh. So this week we have a lot of news, interesting news. After that attack at the end of June at that Scottish Rite Temple in Texas, we had also an attack on the infamous Georgia Guidestones. Is this the beginning or the end for the New World Order? Are they rising and signaling, of course, with the destruction of this monument, the fact that they don't care any longer in showing us the rules of the game for the next few years? Or was it a patriot who decided to intervene, like it happened also at the Scottish Rite Temple in Houston, Texas? Welcome to all our friends in the meantime. And of course, as you know, we are going on the air only on Saturday for the moment, because I am busy writing my book. But we have also some other news that we will give you in a few minutes. Sorry if I went out of the pic. I had to, of course, take my book and show it to my audience. This is the hardback, how you say, hardback copy?
Hardcover.
Hardcover, yes. However, I want to thank those people, who have basically contributed to the show. Because this week, unfortunately, we were actually having some problems and couldn't really make it until yesterday. We were unsure if we will get a new camera, because the old camera, unfortunately, broke down. Yes, the old Logitech camera that we used for so many months, here it is. It's defined. It stopped working.
Yeah,
it stopped working, and it actually stopped working when I was about to record an interview with a gentleman that is being now postponed to next week. This kind of camera costs $200, just to show you the kind of expenses we have here. And but fortunately, thanks to you, we were able to buy this camera.
Yeah, we had some really good donors.
Yes, we had some donors this week, and I want to thank them all. Giuseppina, Peppina, Cicero, and then we have, of course, Cero. I have to, of course, thank all of them. Christy, you can, in the meantime, take the list here and thank personally the people who have contributed to the show, meaning also contributing to our now deceased camera, which unfortunately stopped working. It's very warm in Palm Springs, California, and I repeat, thanks to your contribution, we were able to buy a new camera, and we are also able to pay for the cost of producing this show, because this show is produced in the middle of the desert in high temperatures, and we always need to get this air conditioning blasting. If we were in Italy, we will not be able to do the show any longer, because in Italy now people can't use the air conditioning below, sorry, a certain degree. So it's crazy. I mean, people are, of course, doing this because they think they're supporting the war in Ukraine. Jeez, man. How much will they sacrifice? Okay, so let me go with my side, and then you can start with your side. We have Leobaldo Martinez that we want to thank today. Leosvaldo. I never heard this name, Leosvaldo. It's a very beautiful name because it's a mix between Leo and Valdo. Leosvaldo. So that is, of course, Giuseppina Porter. Of course, we just cited her, but we have also John Taylor, Kara
Worst. Hi, Kara.
Bruce, of course. Bruce, we also want to thank Bruce. And there is also, I think, a couple of other people that we would like to thank. These are the people who have contributed with the donation and made possible today's transmission. So thank you to those people. I want to thank somebody else, but he signed himself deleted user, so I couldn't.
And there was a couple that donated, but I had written it down, and you threw away my paper.
Michael and Kimberly Schultz. We need to thank also Amanda
Joan. Yeah,
she donated. Wayne Ho. Even a small donation, it's okay. It helps in the end to pay the bills. We have some other name you said that we might have lost. I got them all. Mm-hmm. Okay, then this is the Leo Zagami show. After the introduction, we of course start discussing the topic, the main topic of today. I mean, when yesterday I saw even Lester Holt discussing the Georgia Guidestones, who would have imagined something like this, Christy, until a week ago? Please give me your opinion on what happened, because I'm very curious about, do you think it was done on purpose by the people who built it? Yesterday, the mayor, by the way, of the town of Alberton.
I think somebody was bored and blew it up.
Somebody was bored and blew it up.
On the summertime, they wanted some excitement. They decided to go blow it up. Maybe a neighbor of the place. Or it could be a patriot.
It could be a patriot. The interesting thing...
Everybody's happy about the fact that it's gone, so that's okay.
They're not saddened.
Nobody's sad about it.
Nobody's sad about it.
Didn't have anything good to say.
But there is also another view, the view that, for example, people like Alex brought forward the fact that maybe by destroying the evidence, they're just helping erase the memory of a message that was inscribed for humanity at the end of the 70s by a mysterious donor. I actually wrote extensively about this in volume 2 of my confession, and I came to the conclusion that the mysterious sponsor behind the scenes was actually Ted Turner, the founder of CNN. So are we here to analyze only this? Of course not. Today we have a lot of other news also that needs to be analyzed. But it's important to understand that this, of course, is a word made up of symbols. So the distraction of a symbol can mean a lot of things. What do you think, Christian? I mean, it's like, of course, we know that it's all about the symbols when it comes down to magic. Mm-hmm.
Do you think it can be canceled? I mean, do you think that it had some kind of magical value?
Some people, of course, saw the fact that at one point when they were actually removed, because in the end they were forced to bring it all down, the two main columns survived until a certain point, looking a little bit like Yakin and Boaz, like the Twin Towers. And people, of course, know that in Freemasonry, for example, when you arrive to into the Royal Arch. You are going above the ordinary 3 degrees of Freemasonry into one of the rites of perfection. You are said to leave Yakin and Boaz behind, crumbling. And so it is almost symbolic for this reason. I would like to know your opinion on that. But before...
Didn't you just ask me that? And I just told you it was a patriot that did it. And I think that they were hoping to cancel it out. Like, maybe if they blew it up.
You think that's it? That is a simple explanation. And it could be your intuition.
What do you think?
Well, I would like to show our viewers what Lester said yesterday on NBC, because it's always interesting to see what the mainstream news says about certain things. So let me go into YouTube to be able to show all our viewers what was said about the subject of the Georgia Guidestones yesterday on the most demented, the flagship news of the libtards, because we can say that Lester Holt is the flagship news of the libtards, no? So let's see what Lester Holt said about it. And then we can take it from there. I mean, we will also open the phone lines and listen to what you have to say. But let's listen to this.
Guidestones and the investigation into why someone bombed them. It was known as America's Stonehenge, a mysterious and popular roadside attraction in Georgia. But this week, the Guidestones were bombed, much of it caught on camera. And as investigators search for the suspect, online conspiracy theories are growing by the day. Here's Gotti Schwartz.
For decades, massive granite slabs towered over a Georgia field, part astrological calendar, part doomsday instruction guide. But today, the mystifying monument, a pile of rubble. Georgia investigators releasing video of someone blowing up one of the massive 42,000-pound granite stones, and online internet sleuths quickly digging into the bizarre history of America's Stonehenge.
The overall height.
The Guidestones were commissioned by a stranger in the late 70s with what appeared to be cryptic messages for society after an apocalyptic event, calling for things like keeping the population under 500 million. Uniting humanity under a new language, and guiding reproduction through fitness and diversity. Around the small town of Elberton, the stones were known as a harmless tourist draw.
2 weeks ago, it was a kooky roadside attraction. You know, someone felt like they could change our community with dynamite. It's an attack on everybody that believes in free speech.
The panel's mentions of eugenics, population control, and global government fueled conspiracies. Recently, the Guidestones have become the target of far-right political campaigns.
People view the Guidestones as being satanic and as being evil, that there could possibly be somebody out there who would have been willing to take matters into their own hands.
Georgia's Bureau of Investigations now releasing surveillance clips, asking the public for help in identifying the bomber, while the mayor says there is a chance the Guidestones could stand again.
If there's one thing we know how to do, it's put up a monument.
Gotti Schwartz, NBC News.
When we come.
So this was, of course, the take from the mainstream point of view. The mayor of Albertson, of course, intervened, saying that they might be erected again. The problem is, will he receive the financing to do it again? There was, of course, a mysterious figure, R.C. Christian. R.C., of course, is also the initials of that are known for those who are, of course, acquainted with the Rosicrucians. R plus C. What does it mean? And also Christian. So usually R plus C can of course can mean the initials of Christian Rosenkreuz, can mean also Christ resurrected. Because you can, of course, Resurrectio Christi. There is different options here, and there is a guy who arrived one day in this town, offering, of course, a large amount of money to purchase that land, and then to, in a very private way, erect it. Now, that person, from the investigations that were done, was probably Ted Turner. Ted Turner, as you know, has the headquarters, started his own CNN project in Georgia, not too far away from the Georgia Guidestones. CNN is, of course, the first cable news network that goes on 24 hours a day, and it was actually inaugurated in 1980. So just after inaugurating, and there was actually a very strange doomsday video that was prepared by Turner in that period. Why I'm talking about that? Because basically CNN had prepared, in case of an end of the war scenario, where of course still at the height of the Cold War, even if we entered the last decade of it, but there was this doomsday video, and nobody really focused on that. I'm going to show it to you guys. This doomsday video basically was like, in case, you know, we are basically meeting the whole, our creator, the end is near for the whole of humanity, CNN had prepared a video. I'm going to show it to you here. See, CNN, end of the world, doomsday video. In the end of the world comes, US cable channel CNN has prepared a video to be played by the last surviving employee. According to former CNN intern Michael Balabano posted the footage online, the video has been prepared for doomsday. It is a low-resolution video of a US Army band playing a mournful rendition of Nearer My God to Thee. This is the video, in case you want to see it. So, the Turner allegedly financed the Georgia Guidestones, prepared a doomsday video, and gave birth to his cable news channel. This video was, of course, hidden in the archives and never surfaced. See, the apocalypse will be live. CNN mythical end of the world video is real. And that was it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Leo Zagami show, 36 minutes past the hour. Welcome, everybody. We showed, of course, this doomsday video that surfaced thanks to the Guardian in January 2015. Ted Turner nowadays is an old fellow. He's very old.
Alive.
I think he's still alive and kicking, but of course, he might not really be anymore in control of his own creature.
Oh, yeah, he's married to Jane Fonda.
And he was married.
Yeah, my dad doesn't like her. He didn't like her at all.
Well, she was a typical leftist product of the worst brainwashed left, the new American left that surfaced in the 60s, and is actually one of the topics that I touch, one of the many topics I touch in my new book that is in preparation and will come out hopefully in September, October. A new book that focuses, of course, on Hollywood, on the music, but also on the cinema, but not only on the symbolism. Symbolism is a way, though, to understand certain things, but you need also the names, the people who are actually in those lodges, who are in those orders. You need to understand the in-depth of this conspiracy to dumb down mankind. And definitely Ted Turner was part of it. He's not that old. He was born 1 year before my father, 1938. He is, of course, a guy who has given birth to a cable news network known worldwide. Nowadays, we call it the Clinton News Network, the Communist News Network. Is definitely a channel that has abandoned its roots But there is a link that makes us understand why Ted Turner could be, apart from the testimony that was given by certain people about this mysterious character that came into town. Remember that at that time, CNN had not yet started. Now, here, you see, as a philanthropist, he gave $1 billion to create the United Nations Foundation. So he is behind the United Nations Foundation. So there is also a lot of links with the United Nations. Apparently, some technicians and other academics were consulted to put together that monument. So that also. Then additionally, in 2001, Turner co-founded the Nuclear Threat Initiative, generally referred as NTI, a non-profit located in Washington. The organization described itself as a non-profit, no-party global security organization. What is this? What is this?
Nuclear Threat Initiative.
Nuclear Threat Initiative. I'm showing you what might be behind the Georgia Guidestones. It's really, and what is behind this figure, Ted Turner, that we don't really hear much about lately, but is still a very influential figure. The Nuclear Threat Initiative, generally referred to as NTI, is a non-profit, describe itself as a non-profit. Okay, the security focus on reducing nuclear and biological threats impairing human. Let's include also into the biological threats the never-ending virus that came out of that lab in Wuhan that we still talk about. Now there is even a new variant called the Ninja variant. They must be
Ninja.
Yeah, they probably are wearing out of Greek letters. They're going into some more exotic kind of things. The programs that Ted Turner and his friends are involved with are Global Nuclear Policy Program, Nuclear Materials Security, Scientific and Technical Affairs. Why I'm talking about the Nuclear Threat Initiative is because only this week the European Union has passed this historical law to clear matters regarding the new rise of the nuclear now for the European Union is no longer considered dangerous, but is actually green. I know, it's insane. It's so insane that even Greta Thunberg and her bunch of idiotic libtard followers complained about it. This is what happened at the EU headquarters, the EU Parliament. I call it EU, but it's the Parliament of Europe, which is an elected parliament, but in reality, people who control it, most of the time, unelected bureaucrats. Check it out.
Thank you, dear colleagues. We move next.
This is the new president of the, she's basically from Malta, succeeded from the island of Malta. The island of Malta, so a connection there with the Knights of Malta. Who knows? We know that, of course, even Buttigieg has a connection with Malta. His father came. Yeah, his father came from there, and look where he is now. It seems like definitely Buttigieg. Here we are. We had a small problem here, technical problem. We have fixed it. Okay. So, like I said, nuclear now, it's actually having a relaunch. They are basically proposing nuclear as a clean, ecologic kind of option. Somebody says, listen, my friends, this is not an Italian show. I noticed some Italians here.
Ciao, Zizi!
Ciao a tutti, ecco, ciao a tutti. Okay, so let's go and analyze though deeper the images of the explosion. There is a funny way of seeing things. Now, this is hilarious.
Oh, I like this one.
Oh, it's always funny to see these things that surface after the events, no? There is even people that, of course, claim some kind of connection with Donald J. Trump. I will really tend to think that's a little bit far-fetched, though there has been a representative of the Republican Party that is running for elections in the area that has swear to blow up the Georgia Guidestones.
Really?
Yes. So, I mean, definitely the Republican Party, now the MAGA Party, doesn't like the Georgia Guidestones, but I don't think that Trump will of course, do something like that. It's a little bit far-fetched. I instead would like to show you, first of all, the explosion with a more clear angulation, then we will analyze it in various. This is, of course, in color. This is what happened. First of all, the time this happened, 3:33. The demon of chaos, Coronzon.
At 3:33.
Then we have also another thing. It's 7/6, no, like 1776, and we know that the answer to 1984 is 1776. So that is two indicators that there is some kind of numerology at work here. But there is definitely those who say, oh, there is a ray of light from the sky, this and that and all the other. Well, I don't know about that. The law crime network seems to think differently, and of course these images, law and crime, they actually have all the images. So let's see it. This seems to be basically what happened, but we will see the image of a car here passing.
Oh.
Doesn't seem to be a spaceship, guys, or satellite driven by some mad Russians. Then we have, of course, this is the spectacle from above, probably filmed from a drone. Of course, a bit of music in the background. But let's see also another image which I found interesting, which shows actually a guy going to the monument a few minutes before this event happened. So let me show you instead this image. This is, of course, the final result of this mess. Yeah, there is the image of what looks like a guy who simply went towards the place, and then seems to have it's an additional surveillance. So just focus on the left side of the video screen now. Now you can see it very clearly here. There is a guy there. I'm going to do backwards and forwards so you can see it clearly. This guy is running towards the monument here on the road. You see?
There.
This is, of course, accelerated. Then he will go back
So
after.
that's the guy that did it.
Guys, there is no...
It's not a spaceship.
It's not some kind of beam from... this is a guy who obviously went...
Stay away from those spaceships, guys.
That's it. So,
They're not good.
So here we are. I hope that this clears the matter for all those people who want to just, I mean, it's okay. It's obvious that there is going to be a bunch of conspiracies on this matter, but let's not exaggerate. A beam from the sky! I saw this, I saw that. No, I think it's a little bit more normal what we are seeing. Now, as you know, both me and also my wife are very connected with Japan. I published 6 books in Japan. They were the first people to publish my books, to believe in my books before everybody else. The second people who believe in my books were the Italians. And then later on, finally, in 2015, we started to publish in the English language. Shinzo Abe was killed. We all know that. There is, of course, here some images of Japan mourning. There is going to be, of course, probably
I think he was Prime Minister of the world.
Well, I'll let you know when he was Prime Minister, because he was definitely a very important historic character, known also for his specific brand of economics. I think it was known as Abenomics or something like that. I mean, he had really relaunched Japan economically. Of course, he served as a Prime Minister from 2006 to 2007. Not in the period when we were there, but again, he served from 2012 to 2020. He was the longest serving prime minister in Japan history. He was himself related to another prime minister. So he was from a family of politicians who were very much involved as lawmakers in Japan. But let's remember that he advocated the reform of the Japanese self-defense forces by revising the Article 9. What does that mean? That he basically, by revising this Article 9, he brought the Japanese constitution to renounce to that pacifist, neutral position that outlawed the country from declaring war or acquiring ballistic missiles and nuclear weapons. Now, not that they didn't have nuclear weapons, because of course the Americans always placed nuclear weapons in Japan for a long time, but their own nuclear weapons. He started to enact these military reforms in 2015 that then allowed Japan to exercise an increased collective security. And he, of course, had, like I said, this Abenomics, which was this economic reform. But at the same time, he was very much involved also in what?
In what? What?
Taiwan. Bingo.
Oh, Taiwan?
Yes.
I would have never guessed.
Wow. And we know that Abe was assassinated by a guy called Tetsuya Yamagami, a former Japan maritime self-defense force sailor, so a military. And this is very suspicious because, of course, some people have connected maybe with that infamous sect that in the middle of the 90s did that attack on the underground in Tokyo. But at the same time, there is all kinds of, let's say, conspiracy theories that are running rampant online, especially on Chinese social forums, Chinese social networks. In fact, China was forced to censor a lot of this criticism, but also because they hated Shinzo Abe, and they made it known that they were happy about it, actually. And
so I bet it was China, somebody Chinese that is behind it, because it doesn't make sense to me that a Japanese person would, I mean, they're Japanese.
It seemed, no, the guy was Japanese, definitely. Was this guy in some way pushed?
Yeah, that's what I think. He was
pushed by some Chinese. Mm-hmm. Now, you have to understand one thing about China and Japan. And me and Christy actually witnessed it directly when we were there with that Benjamin Fulford, who himself works for the Chinese and for the Hongmen Society, which is a secret society, though, that doesn't include only Chinese, but also Japanese, but it's run by Chinese. It's the Chinese Freemasonry, the Hongmen. And so, was this guy a member of the Hongmen? We don't know yet. There is an investigation. It's definitely interesting that this happened right now, and I show you why. Because, of course, now that we had the G20, there was this possibility of maybe meeting between Blinken and Lavrov. Lavrov that stormed out of the meeting at one point saying there were too many attacks on Russia. So he didn't feel like staying there. But at the same time, there is a lot of talk about the possibility there was actually, during the G20, a secret meeting between Blinken and Lavrov. There is the possibility, guys. No news here in America about it. Nobody's talking about it. This news, though, was referred by some Italian credible news agencies, and it seems like the no, not that video. Don't worry. But we go on the Italian site. The first thing you show,
ladies.
Yes, when you go on the Italian site, before we go into the serious matter, we always have some naked ladies. But that is the Italian news for you. So here
You have to have naked ladies when they're eating pizza.
they have to have naked ladies always. I mean, they have to have. It's the Italian culture is very different from the American. That is now so woke that everybody needs to be a transgender.
Hey, but they're like that in Italy too. Oh.
I don't know about that. I
saw them all in Roma Est Mall.
Eh?
I saw them in the mall.
What? No, no. Yeah, of course. We have a lot of drag queens in Italy. It's incredible. No. But regarding the TV, now in Italy, actually, there is one channel, Rai 2, that is starting to become more drag queen oriented, and it's a national TV. That's insane. But let's go back to the what we are saying. Blinken and Lavrov. This is, of course, an old pic, not a new one. But here it says, did Lavrov and Blinken talk to each other at the G20? There seems to have been a secret meeting in the sala plenaria of the event. So, and this was referred by Catherine Colonna, who is the French foreign minister, who said that Russia found itself isolated at the G20. But there is also some talk about the fact that maybe they had a secret meeting. Antony Blinken and Lavrov might have had a secret meeting. However, everybody's focusing instead here in America on the meeting that Blinken had with China. And that is another more garbage, because, guys, thinking that China will condemn Russia now, every time I have to always, every time I open this Italian site.
They're missing it. I like it.
You like? Okay, so what I wanted to show instead, the people here that are following us, and I want to thank all those people, by the way, who have donated and have made possible this show, because
you guys actually pay for
guys, thanks
video
to
camera.
Thanks
so
to you,
donations,
we were able to buy this little thing here that unfortunately it's broken now, and it was our previous former camera.
It wasn't that old.
1 year.
It's a Logitech Brio, so I recommend not buying that if
No,
you only want it for a year.
Well, but we have now a new one. It's just the same. It's just updated. It's just the same. I mean, unfortunately, these things can break, and they cost $200. So we thank.
It's not that much, but it's still.
But guys, we were not really receiving even $20 a week. So suddenly, the last week, fortunately, we had some donations, and actually it happened that they came in at the right moment, guys, because otherwise we will not be able to even cover the cost of doing this show. Please support us. You can do it through Fundly, you can do it through GoFundMe, you can do it through Cash App if you are in the United States and Great Britain.
I
Because
wanted to say something.
please.
Okay, well, I started with the book this week. I'm going to start like on Monday. I'm starting with the book, Volume 8. And so I might not do the show as much because it's really hot and I'm working really hard. So sometimes Leo might do it on his own. So
I'm sure that people will miss you, Christy.
yeah, well,
I know that you have to work hard.
I have
and
to do this book, but it's only going to be for a month. So then I'll be back.
I guess
it's hard work. I have to translate the whole thing.
A month. I think you have to at least a couple of months of work because we're still here very busy on it. And I think that you're going to have very busy. But we might be able to I mean, I hope that you will be able to join us from time to time.
I will. And then I'll be back when the book is done. It's just, I'm not used to all this work. It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
And then to do the show too, I used to just do the editing and, you know, just chill out and go in my room while you did the show. But now I have to come out here and it's hard. So,
also, I mean,
I like doing the show though. I do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're very good at it. And I'm sorry though that, I'm sorry that at times.
You're very good at it.
I think you're very good. I'm very sorry, though, that you receive also very harsh personal attacks since you started the show. And
yeah, I don't like that.
I mean, you need to grow a skin. How you say in English?
Thick skin.
A thick skin, yes. When you do this kind of thing, because unfortunately, people.
Well, I'm not going to miss that.
Yes.
Most people are nice to me, though. It was just one person wasn't very nice. So. But most people are really nice. Most people are really nice. I find most people nice.
Well, somebody says, why we live in the most expensive? Because, Alan, we had the possibility of getting for the less price possible in the whole of the United States, thanks to a friend, this place where we live. And then that's why. So we don't think that Palm Springs is the most affordable place, but for us it was.
It doesn't make any sense at all because it's the most expensive place.
But we were lucky.
We were lucky.
We were lucky, and then also there is another matter, which is my personal security, and because my life has been threatened, as you know, many times. Here I am at let's say not such a short distance, but quite from some people who are capable of giving me their armed support in case something happens, because unfortunately we have been threatened. I mean, when we arrived here, we were threatened left, right, and center, and we needed to be close to people that could be able to help in that way. And of course, I'm talking about people from my family, let's say. I'll leave it to that. Sicilians. So just so you make in your head no more conspiracy about why we are here in Palm Springs, the home of Frank Sinatra. So when you
we're not going to go to Texas because it is too humid there.
I
moved to Texas. Okay, my mother lived in Texas, like in the 80s and 90s. She moved there, and so I went to Texas quite a lot. She lived in Corpus, and I'm sorry, guys, but I don't like it. The weather is really, really.
No, but Texas is very big.
It's great, really big. I mean, I'm sure there
is parts of Texas that are fantastic. They are. It's really a great state, but we don't have the opportunity to live there because simply we actually looked into it. We went there and we saw the cost of living there and. We can't afford it, guys. I mean, Texas is becoming really expensive, just as gradually, just as California. But like I said, we need to go to places where we are not only welcome, but we have a possibility of affording the whole thing. Because when we left Italy, we didn't really have much, and the little that we have managed here to achieve here in the US is thanks to you guys, thanks to my readers, books.
Our readers
Like,
got us to America,
yes,
really.
it was actually thanks to a book. Here we have, of course, Christie's book, volume 1 and 2, but it was thanks to a book which you haven't put here, which is volume 6.
Volume 6, I didn't put volume 6.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody knows what it looks like.
Volume 6 by 0.66. Yes, every place is problematic. The main problem here, I would say, is the heat. Guys,
I don't like the summer here.
if you don't have really an idea of the heat in a place like Palm Springs and the high desert here, guys, just prepare before.
It's horrible. It's hideous.
But for me, as a writer who has to stay indoors for months to actually publish books, to not only publish, but to actually produce the books before you publish them, it's actually okay, because I take basically the summer months off to focus on my writing. That's why we are also not offering you so many shows, because the cost of running the air conditioning 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a week starts to become impossible after you arrive with bills that can be over 5. Oh, we have been the target from time to time of dating sites that attack us, hackers.
Hackers, trolls, and a lot.
And a lot. So
and then all the goodies, all the good people.
So like I said, it's great at the desert, but you have to be used to it. And in the summer, it's hot as hell.
I'm not liking this.
So if your intention is to come and live here, be prepared. But actually, we suggest to do the same thing we did, which is to take maybe an Airbnb, a renting place, accommodation for a few months, and really see if you are capable of living.
In like from June to like.
And it depends
September.
also from kind of job you do, because if you work, I guess, indoors from home, and you are with air conditioning 24 hours a day, then it's okay. But if you have to go to jobs in and out of your home, constantly going to work, well, guys, well, a little humidity in the desert, not so much, because this summer we touched some very high peaks of humidity, very unusual ones. Definitely the heat was maybe not unusual, because we already had very large amounts of heat last year. But
it was so hot last year too. It was 130.
But this year we had also this weird humidity that creeps in, that
and then it becomes like Texas.
And I mean, it's kind of like
Texas is 100 degrees and probably 70 humidity, and here it's 100 degrees.
But it's become very similar to
10% humidity.
But the other week it was 70% humidity.
But then it was 70% here.
So I mean,
we're talking about the weather.
Okay, guys. I guess we have.
That's the news.
No, that was the news. But of course, we are living in a world where the temperatures are changing, but it's not necessarily due to any thing induced by mankind. We can maybe do a whole show about it one day, because it is a natural course of the sun that produces this kind of unusual heat and unusual weather. Magnetic storms that have been very big. And so magnetic storms have produced this change, not, as they say, climate change and all the rubbish that, of course, they like to push. But like we were saying, Blinken is giving the impression on the American news outlets that he is kind of winning the war in bringing China towards the West. Now, I think that's complete rubbish. I think that it is, of course, an illusion, a dangerous illusion. I think that probably they know very well that China is not agreeing with wanting to side with the rest of the New World Order in condemning Russia, because they are the New World Order now. China is the country that, thanks to biological warfare, aka virus and all the rest, has managed to cripple the world economy and now become the #1 economy themselves. So this first of all. But I mean, the fact that Blinken can really believe that China in some way, I'm going to show you the news because, of course, Reuters is covering it in the last few hours. And I think it's of relevance for today's show. Because we are assisting to the rise of a new world order, which is, of course, not any longer American-centric, but China-centric and Russian-centric, so Sino-Russian. Blinken, China, Wang Yi hold talks covering Ukraine, war, and trade. Now, the meeting, of course, happened during the G20. It happened there in Indonesia, where the G20 is taking place. It says here, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said on Saturday he had discussed Russian aggression in Ukraine during more than 5 hours of talks with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, in which he raised concerns of Beijing alignment with Moscow. The diplomats both described their first in-person discussions since October as candid. I don't know, what does it mean, candid? With the meeting taking place a day after they attended the gathering of G20 foreign ministers on the Indonesian island of Bali. Famous island for New Agers that hope to be gurus. So, what does it mean, candid? What does it mean, candid? You ever been to Bali?
No.
Well,
I wanted to go.
Oh, okay. So, what do you think, candid? What does it mean, candid? Candid doesn't mean anything, guys. It's all propaganda because the truth is different. And now I'm going to show you the truth. While their candid talks were taking place, something else was taking place. So this is the truth about China. China, here, as you can see, holds war drills around Taiwan directed at American Senator visit to the island. So, I mean, their candid talks, this news is new, guys. China is again conducting major military exercises in waters around Taiwan, according to state media reports, which further decried U.S. support to Taiwan. So, what is the candid China Defense Ministry was cited in Reuters as describing the drills as a warning aimed at the visit of a U.S. senator. It said China firmly opposes the visit by a U.S. senator to Taiwan, which severely damages the relationship of the two countries and two militaries, while it added that the drill near Taiwan is directed at U.S. and Taiwan provocation. The senator in question was Rick Scott of Florida. Important is visit marks to no less than 7 years. Okay, there is a visit to Democratic non-aligned this year. So, as you can see, while their candid talks were going on, the truth is that in reality, China has their own Ukraine and they are actually preparing for it. We showed you not so long ago the secret discussion held by a military base that was in turn talking with Beijing about their plans of occupying the island, with a lot of details about this. This is information that surfaced already a couple months ago. But here we are, basically, working on understanding if this is like a civil war creeping in, where people are getting so upset that they start to do things that in the end might even be counterproductive, but they definitely show they're upset with the New World Order, like taking like the Houston kidnapping that went on in the Houston Masonic Center. This, what do you think, Christy?
About what?
About these actions? Are they symbolizing, it's like the people are getting so upset with the New World Order that they need to start doing something about it?
Wonderful.
Yeah, but wonderful. I mean,
But
wonderful,
I just don't
but
think that
it could
that's
be also at times not so wonderful. I mean, I think that to hold hostage a 91-year-old in a Masonic temple in
that's
Houston,
terrible.
I mean, that is not really wonderful. I mean,
That's
it's
terrible. I thought you meant like people blowing up stuff, like the Georgia Guidestones. I was glad about that.
this was what happened. For those who don't know, this happened on the 27th of June, so exactly 10 days before what is an explosion that destroyed these Georgia Guidestones. And as you can see, there was hostage a 91-year-old man and a 65-year-old. We know, of course, and this is what was, I think, said by the police at the time. I think there is a video that we can play maybe here. Let's see. Let's see if it talks. Come on. Let's see if the seems to be thinking about it. They mic'd him. They had to mic him. Let's see what he says.
All right, good day. I'm Executive Assistant Chief Larry Satterwhite. With me is Executive Assistant Chief Jim Jones and Commander Hassick over our Southwest Division. We're on the scene here at 2401 West Belfort at the Scottish Rite Center, where we received a call of a disturbance. Still gathering information, but I'll tell you what we know so far. At 10:06, we received a call to this location of a disturbance with a weapon at this location. Our officers arrived at 10:10, within 4 minutes. While our officers were arriving on the location, we had updated information that there were shots fired inside the building. Officers immediately went in, and right as they went in, they engaged a male who would turn out to be our suspect from a distance on an upstairs landing. And once determined very quickly that he was our suspect, went into initial conversation with him. That male was not armed with a firearm that we could tell at this time. But then again, from the distance, we did not know what he had in his possession. The male seemed erratic. As the officers began negotiations, that we were not sure of if we had hostages in the building or not. We very quickly confirmed that we did have 2 male hostages with the suspect behind them in a room. During the course of that conversation, that negotiation with the suspect, he released one of the males. He is a 91-year-old male that works here. He was injured in the hand. He was released and came out. Not knowing the condition of the other hostage in the room, our officers pressed on the location and on the suspect. And once he saw that we were pressing, he surrendered, and we took him into custody. Our other hostage, thankfully, was not injured at all. So with that, our suspect that we have in custody right now is a male, approximately 30 years of age. He appears to be of Middle Eastern descent, but we don't have that confirmed, and we're going to have to do additional information to figure out, more about him and why he was here. We don't even know why he came to this location. We do know. What we do know from speaking to our witnesses and hostages on the scene is that he arrived here several minutes before the call went out, and he was trying to get in to talk to them about their belief systems. They were not allowing him into the objective because of his behavior. He circled the building and then actually broke a window, and that's how he got into the objective. And then from there, they were calling right away, calling 911, calling for the police, which we did respond. And then I've already told you how we took him into custody. So with that,
basically, they intervened very fast compared to Uvalde. Always in Texas, but this time it wasn't children that were risking their lives. It was a bunch of old Masons. And we see that they were prompt in liberating their fellow brothers. Probably a lot of policemen, of course, being Masons, wanted to do that. Having said that, of course, these kind of actions are completely not useful to the cause, because attacking a Masonic temple today, it's not really, I mean, at this point, why don't you go and attack the Bilderbergers when they do a meeting, or the World Economic Forum? Because it's impossible, probably. I think there is not that much power in a Masonic temple any longer. Of course, the Supreme Council in Texas has been filled with scandals in the last few years, infiltrated by black magicians. I personally know at least 3 of them are from organizations like the OTO and others. I mean, there is a lot of controversy because Freemasonry in California, for example, where they are investing in their future. Well, in California, it's already a lost cause, but in California, we still have a good chunk of the Masonic establishment, which is conservative, has Christian values, and so going to attack a Masonic temple in Texas doesn't seem to be the solution of any problem, and definitely violence is never the solution, especially when it's this kind of violence. It was a Middle Eastern guy, though, and this makes me think there was no talk about this event later on, no talk about who this guy was. Middle Eastern, was he, of course, a terrorist, an Islamic fundamentalist? If he was, they definitely will hide that, because the left likes to hide that, and actually even the Muslim Brotherhood has used Freemasonry in places like California, Colorado. There is other Islamic organizations that have used Freemasonry to promote actually interaction with American people and promoting their Islamic rubbish. And that is one of the reasons why I don't really go to lodges anymore here, because it's lodges in California are other filled with OTO, occultists. Then you have also these lefties that are promoting their political agenda openly. Here in California, former Grandmaster in 2016 openly criticized Donald J. Trump. What is Rambo doing?
He's rubbing around on the carpet.
Okay. But like I said, people are losing their patience. People are definitely angry. And so is it possible that there is really starting to be a reaction, not maybe a good reaction, but definitely a reaction of some kind against the New World Order through these actions? We don't really know. In the meantime, the news of today brings us also to talk once again about Ghislaine Maxwell. She has filed an appeal after being convicted of running Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking ring. I hope she never gets out, but she has very powerful friends. She was special guest at Chelsea Clinton's wedding. We all saw her present there, smiling amongst the few elite people that were invited. So who knows if she will be eventually granted some form of freedom. I'm pretty sure she will.
You said that. You said it all along.
These people, they condemned, of course, Ghislaine to make it possible for, to get the pressure off this whole investigation, and then they kind of find a side way through the legal. Welcome everybody to the Leo Zagami show. 22 minutes past the hour. We are about to open the phone lines and discuss with you, is this the rise or the fall of the New World Order? Does this mean they are more powerful than ever, or they are starting to show their weakness? Steve Bannon, yes, has got squatted No, sorry, squatted. How you say? By a squad team.
It's squatting?
Yeah, well, not squatting in that sense. Squatting in the sense that basically the home of former Trump senior advisor Steve Bannon was reportedly broke in by a special squad team on Friday in response to a false report. He had a gun and shot somebody.
What?
So, guys, this is totally insane. I mean, we know that Steve Bannon gets on the nerves of the establishment very much. Here is one more action that is evidence that the leftists are really after us. They did it with Roger Stone. This time they did it with Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon didn't shoot anybody, but there was a false report made of him. And this was enough to create this whole problem. See, yesterday, it happened yesterday. And according to the Washington Post, citing police, someone called the crisis hotline and reported a man inside the row house in 200 block of Niani had shot someone and had a firearm. It's unclear if the person who filed the report knew it was Bannon's house, but probably they did, because if it was false, they clearly did. The police present caused streets around the Capitol and the Supreme Court to be closed for around an hour. The police, the police were terrific, Bannon told NBC before going into his home. Let's see here.
Mr. Bannon, did you receive a call or from the police saying that there was a threat to your home? Did you receive a call from the police? Did they tell you? They were terrific. Did this target your home specifically?
So, as you can see, this was Steve Bannon. And what's happening with Rambo? He's arriving, the one and only Rambo. Ladies and gentlemen, we are, of course... Is a little pesty, Rambo? Rambo, why are you being a little pesty?
No, I don't want to put up with him.
Did you know that, by the way...
he's cold.
Our governor here, Governor Gavin Newsom, basically, he has had the courage of prohibiting government employees from using public money to go to Montana, because he perceives Montana as the wrong kind of state, too conservative in many ways, no? But then he uses his own money to go and visit and have a holiday in Montana. This shows you this hypocrite who is kind of looking into the possibility of running for presidential election. He is the most fake guy ever.
Oh no!
He is really the Democrat. This guy could be really, next to Barack Obama, one of the candidates to the office of Antichrist. This guy, watch. Rambo, what do you think about it? Let's ask Rambo. Rambo, so what do you think about it?
He doesn't like the air conditioners on.
So he's putting...
now he's okay.
He's okay because he put him in a little blanket. That's okay then. Welcome everybody to the Leo Zagami Show, 4 minutes, and we're about to open the phone lines.
Yay!
Yeah. What do you think of Elon Musk, who basically terminated...
I knew that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it.
Yeah?
I'm sure a lot of people don't like, well, whatever.
Do you know that China is being exposed because they buy wives? There is basically a video of a chain woman. This is basically an article published by the Wall Street Journal. The exposure of China's bought wives. A video of a chain woman kept in a shed went viral. Now a national campaign is underway to track down and rescue women unwillingly sold into marriage. We always thought that this kind of thing was typical of Pakistan, India, but it seems like it's also something. The 1 minute video clip started circulating on Chinese media last winter. A woman is shown in a shed with no door, dressed in a thin sweater. She's chained by the neck. It's crazy. This
Terrible.
China is it's an insane place. Warning by the embassy, guys. I always go down to Tijuana, as many of you might know. It's a couple of hours away from here, so I often go down to Tijuana. But there is a cartel war, and so there is an emergency information for American citizens that have been issued. They have basically issued on the 4th of July 2022, location Tijuana and Rosarito, Bahia. There is a potential for confrontation. Baja? No, Bahia?
No, it's Baja, California.
I say Bahia.
No, it's Baja.
Are you sure?
It's Baja.
In Spanish, it's Bahia. Bahia de California. Bahia de California. Bahia.
It's Baja.
Whatever.
It is.
Okay.
It's a surfing place. I know all about it. I read a book about it.
Christy.
I did. It's Baja. Everybody
Okay.
knows it. Somebody say it in the chat, please.
Yeah, can you please, some Spanish speaking people come up and solve this mystery? In any case,
come on, Kev. He's in LA. He should know this.
Between Canadians and Mexicans, but you have to be Spanish or of Spanish descent to answer this question. So they say there is a confrontation, criminal organization, Mexican security forces, Tijuana, Rosarito, and it's following the arrest basically of a prominent cartel leader. So the people who go to Tijuana have to understand and be aware of their surroundings, maintain a high level of vigilance, and keep a low profile. Monitor local media for updates, and in case of emergency, call 911. Review your personal security plans and follow the instructions of local authorities. This is basically what is being said by the U.S. Embassy and consulates. And it's not a joke, guy. Huh? Somebody said Baja. Oh, then it's Baja. Then you're right. Too.
I'm right. No, he's right. Thank you.
Okay, then I'm wrong. No, because I was saying it in Italian. Well, in Italian you say Bahia because it's a Bahia.
We're in America now.
Yeah, well, but that is Spanish. That is more close to Italian than to.
Maybe I was right.
American.
I got it right.
Okay, you got it right. Okay, guys. So please call in. We will be opening the phone lines now, and the question is this the beginning or the end of the New World Order? And I think, unfortunately, it's the beginning of it.
Sit down then.
So we are opening the phone lines, asking you the question: is this the beginning, or it's the beginning of the rise of the New World Order?
I think it's the beginning too, because that's what you say, and you're always right.
Okay,
except
guys.
This last time you weren't.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I was right.
Well. Okay. Beginning of the end. That is a good one. I think that is a good one. We have opened the phone lines. +1 970 577 6369. I repeat, 970 577 6369. Are you gonna call in? You don't need to call in. You're here. You okay? Are you waiting for a phone call? Well, are you worried for your cousin in Tijuana?
He's worried for his cousin.
Okay. Welcome to the Leo Zagami show. Who am I talking with, and where are you calling from?
Hey, Leo. This is Sean from out of Riverside, California. How you doing?
Great. Nice to speak to you.
Did you say Riverside?
Yeah, Riverside.
Riverside.
Oh.
So we are in
We're neighbors.
We are in the same county. So what do you think about what happened at the Georgia Guidestones at Albertsons in Georgia?
I'm of the mindset, since people are putting out editing evidence of the Guidestones footage being possibly tampered with, like the car having a blur in front of it and behind it as it moves along, things of that nature, that they're essentially trying to erase the evidence of the Guidestones so that anyone who points them out will be called a conspiracy theorist 20 years from now or 40 years from now. As in, it was too out in the open. It, served them too much harm. It red pilled too many people. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to clean up their track, kind of like all the people connected to Epstein or the Clintons when they mysteriously get vanished.
So you are inclined to think, like I said at the beginning of the show, that maybe it's a way of getting to take away their traces of. I mean, it was a little bit too indicative, maybe what they were stating on those Georgia Guidestones. Yeah.
Yeah, they're too proud and arrogant and haughty, from having clubs that meet publicly and open like Davos, and even Bilderberg was getting published in the newspapers. So they're going to commit crimes. They got to hide everything leading to them, including the request to bring the world population down to 500 million. So that way no one can blame them later. Remember, they kind of want Biden to be the front man for all this, so everything can be blamed on his head like some kind of psychopomp or a scapegoat. And the other element to it as well is that if you look at it in the esoteric way, they have to announce their intentions. Well, they've announced their intentions, and now they're going. I look at this, the New World Order is rising or falling. I look at this as them trying to rise in a scramble, because as patriots were waking back up, they created a counter movement, and now it's a mad dash.
So you
taken care of.
Okay, so let me recapitulate all this and synthesize it in one short answer. You believe it was basically an inside job?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Remember the news footage, the fellow saying that his community will put up another monument, etc. Well, if anyone looks into the history of Guidestones, nobody passed an ordinance.
But what do you think?
And nobody contracts and finances it.
So, regardless of what the mayor of Albertson said, who said maybe we will rebuild it, you don't think that is any longer something they would do?
Well, to look at it this way, while it was a tourist attraction for that community, nobody was breaking out champagne when it was built. So, there's clearly a little bit of subversion going on with there.
I guess a tourist interest from the locals also, that they get these people to come over in an area where maybe they will never go.
Kind of like the dinosaurs out by Cabazon. Random things you just pop up and people go look at it. Outside of Roswell, you got the UFO museum, all that stuff. The fact of the matter for that community is that back when those Guidestones were put up, it was kind of like there's the community, and the next day the Guidestones were up. So it surprised everybody. And again, the elites have told us they're going to try to depopulate us. And now I think they're cowardly enough that they want to hide the evidence.
Thank you very much for your take on it. We invite, of course, more people to call +1 if you're calling from outside the United States, 970-577-6369, to give us your opinion on who did it. Was it also a symbolic event? Was it something done by a patriot? Was it an inside job? What's your take on who brought down the Georgia Guidestones? Call in +1. If you're calling from outside the United States, 970-577-6369. We will be taking calls for another 24 minutes here on the Leo Zagami Show with Leo and Christy, Zagami, and Rambo, who is actually now tuning out.
Yeah, he was cold.
So he made all that fuss because he was cold. He didn't know how to make himself warm.
No, he's just a little baby.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, he probably needed.
He doesn't have any fur.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, as we're waiting for more phone calls, in the meantime, of course, we relate more news, and we go through another of the subjects that was actually outlined in the Georgia Guidestones, which was the subject, of course, of abortion. Population control, no? Welcome to the Leo Zagami Show. Where are you calling from and what's your name?
Hey, Leo, I'm Christy. This is Kevin from Los Angeles.
Hi, Kevin. It's Baja, huh?
It's Baja. It's Baja.
That's all right.
Okay, so what's your take on who brought down the Georgia Guidestones and what was the reason for doing it?
Well, my friend Linda thinks it's the White Hats. but I don't believe it's the white hats.
But this white hats business is really some QAnon rubbish, let me tell you guys.
Absolutely. But I mean,
she believes in the Galactic Federation.
I really don't know who did it, but all I know is it had to be some high explosives to blow up solid granite. I always thought you'd have to drill holes in it and stick dynamite or something like that, but even Claymore I don't think would do it.
So you think
it's been an inside job?
So your final take is what? An inside job?
It could be. I mean, it could be to set up people to think that the Patriots are these domestic terrorists. I don't really know.
Okay, it makes sense. Yes, it makes sense. It makes sense also that online in the first few hours after the event, some people also started to spread the news that there was some kind of involvement from Trump or God knows what. I mean, it kind of goes in line with all that, no? Depicting the Patriots as domestic terrorists. Thank you so much for that take on it. So, do you think we are here in front of the New World Order hiding their tracks, like the other callers said? It seems we are more or less in tune with the past callers. So it seems like at the moment, at least, the majority of callers are saying it's an inside job. Let's, of course, give this possibility of giving their own take on who.
I take my take back.
What do you think?
I think that it's what you think. I don't think that it was a Patriot. I think it was an inside job too.
Well, I don't really have a take. I'm kind of like analyzing still, I don't have like I'm not sure of anything because I don't have some inside information that can be verified. Only a fool can say is this or that without having any concrete evidence. Please call in and give your take on who brought down and why the Georgia Guidestones. +1 970-577-6369. Welcome to the Leo Zagami Show. Who am I talking with and where are you calling from?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Who are you and where are you calling from?
My name's Craig. I'm from Illinois. I agree with what the other people were saying. That it's definitely what my take on it is that it was somebody like you that was on the inside, and they said enough of the games, and they put a stop to it, and they felt justified by doing that because it's just, and I don't think it's no mistake that it lined up exactly after CERN was started back up. So we're definitely heading into a more positive direction because there's people like you from like your background and everything that you know that they come to the light, they come to the good, they come to the good side of God, and they're going to make a difference because they have that power. Because like even in the scripture it says, feel free to intimidate your intimidators. So it was somebody that had the courage to say that's enough for this oppression of humanity, if that makes sense to you. So hats off to you, because I've been watching you for a couple of years now, and hats off to you for becoming the person that you became. And God showed me like why you did that, because you're trying to do a just thing for humanity. And hats off to you on your books and everything. And I really look forward to, reading your books. And I think it's really cool that you hooked up with Michael Jaco. That's a really powerful connection because both of you guys are trying to do a great thing for humanity. And it is. It's time for the good people of God to stand up and make a difference, if that makes sense to you. So again, hats off to you for all this work that you're doing and all these people that you're encouraging. So I feel it's somebody that's just like you, where they were on the inside and they said enough. That's enough of that. It's time for humanity to go free.
So let me recapitulate and synthesize, because I think you have a slight different take from the last two callers. You are adding this new nuance to it, that it might have been actually somebody from the inside who turned into the good side to actually... okay, this is an interesting take and definitely a new one. So thank you for calling in today. And of course, we will give the opportunity to other callers to do the same. +1 970-577-6369 for...
Can we have a fun moment?
Yes, telling.
Do you have that video of the dancing pirate?
No.
Oh, you don't?
Which
Johnny
dancing?
Depp.
No, I don't have it.
Oh, you don't have it?
No, I kind of like went through it and then, okay, let's see. Welcome to the Leo Zagami show. Who am I talking with and where are you calling from? Hello?
Oh, hi, Leo. This is Lisa. How are you?
Oh, welcome. It's always a pleasure to have you on board. What's your take on the Georgia Guidestones being brought down? Was it an inside job, an external job, any kind of job? Just tell us your take.
It was a very good job.
Okay, that definitely.
It was in and out. I don't think he had time to drill a hole and put dynamite in, so it had to be some other type of explosive, I think, because he ran in and ran out.
Well, it was definitely something that has led to the structural damage that they claimed then brought the whole thing down, because they couldn't keep it up because it created a structural damage. So it's basically being positioned in a way that all the various, because initially it seemed like the damage wasn't that much, really. It was only one column being damaged. Then they announced there was a structural damage. They went in and they started to take it all down.
So they had to do that. It was dangerous. It wasn't structurally sound anymore. So they had to take it all down.
Well, so definitely the guy who did it knew that what he was doing. Because to create a structural damage of some kind, he must have made some calculations also on where to position exactly the explosive. I mean, we saw, of course, the image we played with it backwards and forwards. We can share it even now, but it's not that easy to just arrive under a monument, place some kind of explosive, and make it then explode. I mean, it's
well, thermite's pretty strong stuff. I mean, that's what took down the two twin towers was thermite after they cut the structures to where they would implode. Yes. I've seen a lot of implosions, like in Vegas. When I saw those coming down, I knew it was an inside job. So yeah, it could have been an inside job too.
It could have been an inside job, but you are not totally sure. You are kind of like still wondering, I guess, like all of us.
I could have been just a patriot, someone who's tired of all their shit, all their BS. We're tired of it. So someone made a statement, pretty much. But I do believe the New World Order is in full swing. They have planned everything out. I mean, they're destroying all of our food. They're destroying all those food processing buildings. We're going beyond now with our meat. It's in the markets now, and they are in control.
Yeah, well,
but God is in control. He's allowing this to happen. And I'd like, I don't know how far this is going to go, but we're strong Christians, so we can withstand anything they have.
In the end, though, we are now with, like my friend Alex said, one less piece of evidence against them. So it's kind of interesting here. A lot of people also focus on the moment in which, as you can see on the screen, only the two columns were left. And these two columns looked a little bit like the Twin Towers, like Joachim and Boaz Masonic tradition. Do you think there was also a specific choice in the time, 333 in the date, 7/6?
Absolutely. Numerology, they all use numbers. They use 88 a lot, That wasn't shown. They didn't show 88, but yeah, 333, that's a good number.
Well, definitely 333. It's we are talking about a number that not many people know is connected to. It's half of the number of the beast, basically, because it's half of 666.
I mean, it's 33.
And it's also connected to 33, but most of all is connected to the demon Coronzon, which I described in my books. It's the demon of chaos, and it's definitely a demon that is very powerful. So is it the start of chaos? Is it the start of chaos? We see this figure running in and out, but is he an agent of chaos and destruction, or is he a patriot? We still don't know. Thank you very much for calling in today, Lisa, and at least giving us your perspective. We hope to hear from you soon. This is the Leo Zagami Show on Saturday, July the 9th of the year of the Lord 2022. We still have 12 minutes left. The phones are open and we are taking calls. The subject of the day, of course, is this the beginning or the end of the New World Order? Is this the rise of something that we have all feared for such a long time? The Georgia Guidestones were included in my book, Volume 2 of my Confessions. This was a very controversial book. I maybe never told you, but this book actually was threatened by Satanists who even threatened to take legal action, which was unheard of. There was actually the state of Arizona who prohibited this book in their prison. This is
really something.
That's something very weird. Welcome to the Leo Zagami Show. Who am I talking with and where are you calling from?
Hello, Leo. My name is Bill. I'm calling from Connecticut.
Welcome to the show. What's your take on this event that brought down the Georgia Guidestones?
Well, I can't say I have no expertise on who did it, but one thing to consider is bringing more attention to the Guidestones to people who've never heard about them. Do you follow me? Perhaps it was an inside job to actually bring attention to them. Of course, there are some people, you know, who were aware of them already, but many, many not. What do you think about that?
What? Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Well, in other words, by destroying them, it actually brought attention to their existence and the message. You see, it actually propagated the message.
Yes, definitely. There is a lot more attention given to the Georgia Guidestones than ever before. Even we showed at the beginning of the show from the mainstream media. The mainstream media that will have never in any way show the Georgia Guidestones or explain what they are all about. There was almost some embarrassment because it was clearly satanic, or at least connected to eugenics, the eugenist movement, the fact that they want to also keep humanity under 500 million is clearly something that will eliminate a great part of mankind. Sorry?
Right. I agree. Let me ask you something. Can you expand a little bit on the what I've read about as the Tri-City States for the Egyptian obelisk, is like at the Vatican, District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., and London City, and the connection there with this whole New World Order? And I mean, perhaps it's in your books. I'm new to you, to be honest with you.
Okay. Okay, well, that is an explanation that would probably take a whole show. So, I mean, it's not possible to do it here. Obelisks are, of course, present even here. We have one just behind me. That is obelisk that is present in St. Peter's Square, which, you know, people connect, for example, to Christianity.
It actually has his name on it. It has Leo on it.
Yeah, it has my name on it. Well, it's actually part of a Latin phrase, which is Rex Leo de Tribu Judah, the king, the lion king of the tribe of Judah. But in reality, we are talking about sun worship camouflaging itself behind Christianity, a sun worship which has also been the constant position of the Freemasons, because it is based around a cult of the sun. When you are positioning always the lodges, just like the churches in the East, the worship or master is always positioned in the East where the sun is rising. You are always focusing on a sun cult. Osiris. Let's go back to ancient Egypt. We can find a lot of similarities also with between the cult of Osiris. Then we have Horus, and of course the Freemasons. So I mean, even those paraments, the Freemasons wear, they put those the regalia that they put on. It's very similar to what was worn in ancient Egypt, but definitely they are also connected with what is above, reflecting below what is above. So you are mentioning cities like Washington, London, that are all part of the Masonic establishment, established by Freemasons, that were knowledgeable of astronomy and of a specific. What's happened? What did Rambo do?
No, it's a fly.
It's a fly?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's okay. So I hope that you can maybe purchase my books from Volume 1, as you never have read any of them. I would suggest you start with Volume 1. The obelisk, like somebody suggests also in the chat, is also a phallic symbol. But let's not forget, if you go behind the Sphinx, which is a very important symbol also for the mystery schools of old, you can see really that is a giant phallus. The actual image of the Sphinx, but from behind, is not the same. I invite you to go and check it out. It's exactly the image of a phallus. The phallus is the solar element, the solar cult. The moon, of course, reflective of the female energy, the female, how you call it?
Alpha Omega?
Well, no, like Bajan. Like, for example, you have a specific Holy Mary, which is here very popular, La Madonna di Guadalupe. If you go and check how it's actually shaped, the Madonna de Guadalupe is within a very clearly female.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So,
I understand.
So here, and of course, the women relate to the moon cycle, and that's why they were never really regularized in Freemasonry in the first place. And when they were accepted in some forms of Freemasonry, there was people who said that is really not acceptable because they are practicing a sun cult when they should be practicing a moon cult, but there is certain specifics that maybe can make them interact with that sun cult. Here is very complex matter, but thank you for calling in today. I hope to speak to you soon for more interesting questions. Thank you so much. And we have only 5 minutes left, so we will welcome more callers to call in, at least one, before we end up our show. It was great to see that you are so many today that are calling in. And enjoy our show. We have been, of course, away for a week. We want to thank those people, though, who, aside from the callers who are very courteous to call in, those people who have donated and have made possible for us to replace our camera this week, which was $200. Without you, we will not have made this possible. Welcome to the Leo Zagami Show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, Leo and Christy. My name is Gary Housley. I'm calling from Oklahoma.
Hi, Gary.
Oh, welcome, Gary. Welcome. And so, what's your take on what went on in Georgia, in Alberton, with the Georgia Guidestones going down?
Well, since there's not much time left on your show, which is fantastic as usual, I'll just make a quick statement and get off the phone. It reminds me of the breaking of the Ten Commandments. Not exactly, but it sort of has this effect that's already rippling through the nation and through the world as this spreads around the world. So it's very similar to me. It evokes the image of the breaking of the Ten Commandments, and I'll just leave that with you right there. Thank you.
That's really good.
A very interesting image and a very interesting take. I haven't heard that before, but definitely it makes sense. So thank you very much for suggesting that. Please call in 970-577-6369. Maybe you can call in and be the last caller of the day. The Leo Zagami Show has still 3 minutes. Rambo is, of course, getting
He's
ready.
set for the last 30 minutes.
He's tranquil. Thank you also for those who are, of course, following us and will be following us in the next few days. Probably we have this running recorded on YouTube, but please share it. Try to make our show known to the world, as we've been shadow banned and censored for so long. Welcome to the Leo Zagami Show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Skeletor from Texas.
Welcome.
How you guys?
Hi.
Very well, very well. I hope you had a great 4th of July. We had a great 4th of July.
Yes, I did. I saw your pictures. They were great. You guys looked like you had a good group of friends. You really enjoyed yourself.
Yes.
Show the video.
Yes.
Real quick, okay?
Yes.
There's a guy on the internet you guys should talk. His name is Zachary K. Hubbard. He runs a channel called Gematria Effect News.
Oh, actually,
Okay.
Yesterday or the day before, my friend Jay Campbell put me in contact with him because.
Okay. He puts it all together. It was an insight. The people who put it up are the people who brought it down.
Okay, so
all the gematria lines up, the date, the time, it was synchronized. It was a ritual. It was a number ritual, and because the people who run things, the Jesuits and their Masons and their Illuminati who they run, they all the symbology and symbols. You know that it was George W. Bush's birthday. And 7/6, and he turned 7/6 on that day. It's also synced up with Charlie Daniels, who wrote the song "The Devil Went Down to Georgia."
Yeah.
And there's some interesting numbers on it. If you go to his channel, Gematria Effect News 24, he has a couple of videos. He gets a lot of strikes because he just keeps putting it out and keeps nailing it. But it's a number ritual. And the people who did it, they always tell you who did it because they always use that symbology of gematria.
Yeah,
that's the code they use.
Actually, like I said, my friend Jay Campbell, which actually will be on his show next Thursday. I was supposed to be on his show this week, but unfortunately my camera broke down. But Jay Campbell put me in contact with this gentleman you are talking about.
You would have, you guys would be like, have a heart to heart. You have, first of all, this guy's been doing this research for over 10 years. He's so good at what he does. He does not have all the right conclusions like you do. Like your knowledge is indisputable. I mean, no one can assail you in terms of the secret societies, the Illuminati, and your knowledge of the Jesuits is far more superior than his. But he knows the gematria angle very well. He knows how it's all synced up to sports, news, and he's very astute with it. And it's
his name, for though we're talking, because some people are asking who we're talking about. We're talking about Zach Hubbard of Gematria Effect News. Gematria Effect News, Zach Hubbard, we will probably have him in a show in the future here on the Leo Zagami Show. Why not?
No, it would be a meeting of the minds between you two. It really would be.
I think that, I mean, it's important that you understand for people who say they're tired of Gematria, that really for the elite it's fundamental to have an alignment with with Gematria, with Notaricon, with all these elements, both the interpretation of letters, of numbers, are fundamentally what they work with to align all their work, because you have to understand that we are the product. No, but we are, apart from the synchronicity that needs, it's a subject a bit more that we should go more in depth maybe in another time. But it's all about numbers. Numbers are what results in the whole of creation of we are the product ourselves of numbers. Music is the product of numbers. Our reality around us is the product of numbers, and so those numbers need to align in a certain way for these people to achieve their own goals in their own evil plan. Thank you so much for calling. We are, of course, now at the end of our show, and we thank all the people that today joined us. Please support the Leo Zagami show. Purchase my latest book or all the others. Rambo, what's up? Huh?
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. He's waiting for the music.
Yeah.
Here we are with the music. I think most people here think it's an inside job, Christine.
Okay.
So, okay. Most people here today think it's an inside job. There's only one troll that keeps on trolling the thing, saying it was something against the New World Order. I mean, I don't know, guys. Let's see what happens. We will probably know more in the next few weeks. Or maybe we will never know the truth. But I think we will know something, because maybe it aligns with the fact that they want to blame the Patriots about all evil and blame us.
I'm sure it has something to do with elections and how to rig. Oh. I say it.
Don't say it.
I don't want to get banned. You know what I was going to say.
Don't say it.
It's got stolen items.
We will see you next week, Christine.
I don't know.
No, it depends if you are available.
Don't work me so hard, man.
Huh?
Don't work me so hard. That book is hard.
It's a lot of work, guys. It's a lot of work. The Zagami's work night and day to defeat the New World Order. Please help us by purchasing our own books, by supporting us with the donations that can be sent through GoFundMe. That, by the way, GoFundMe, we still have GoFundMe. You know, some people don't have GoFundMe, but we have been banned by PayPal 6 times. So I know we no longer have PayPal, but we have the possibility through GoFundMe to accept PayPal, which is kind of a way to bypass the censorship of PayPal. And at the same time, we have Fundly, as well as cashapp. So please give us a hand by supporting us. So, you know, if things like this happen, I hope this doesn't happen anymore, because $200 is a lot of money. Cameras stop working. You know, this camera stopped working was really suspicious, because we had a lot of suspicious things happening in the last few interviews that I was doing with people that literally, you know, suddenly their computers crashed.
We were doing an interview with both of us. We were doing an interview with Veritas, with Mel from Veritas.
Radio Veritas, yes.
Radio Veritas. And first he said, I think it was either his computer or his camera, but it went out, and then his whole system crashed, and he had to change computers. So that was really interesting. Is it Mercury retrograde?
I don't know. Well, guys, take care. Hope you enjoyed the Leo Zagami show.
Bye, everyone. Have a nice Saturday. See you next time.
No, but it's not Project Vegas. So don't get people, because it's Veritas Radio, and the guy is called Mel. And by the way, I think Tuesday I'm also on Quite Frankly. So next week I will, of course, we will see each other on Saturday with the Leo Zagami show, but I will be on Quite Frankly, which is a good show.
Thank you, Kate. I think it's Catanella. She helped us with that connections.
Then on Thursday, I'm on with Jay Campbell. So if you go and search through the various YouTube channels, you will be finding Leo Zagami with more revelations on Tuesday and Thursday. If not, next Saturday. He will be back. We will be back. And from Palm Springs, California, this was the Leo Zagami Show.